Last season was our best yet, as we recorded Venezia's highest ever Serie A finish, coming in 3rd place, 7 points behind eventual champions Lazio. Heading into season 5 though, the only acceptable finish for us is 1st. In order to do that, we had to strengthen our backline, and we did so with 2 superb signings. We'd lost our goalkeeper Kamil Grabara to Stuttgart after they triggered the release fee clause for £13.5 million, and he went on to play a grand total of 3 games across the season. Frustratingly for us, the deal was arranged midway through last season, so that extra money wasn't actually added to our transfer budget of £28 million given to us by the board. So to replace Grabara, we spent a conservative £4 million on Marco Carnesci, the Atalanta first choice keeper who'd had a very good season for them. But an even more astute signing was Alessandro Bongiorno from Torino for £13 million. The left-footed Italian giant looked great on paper, but we were about to be blown away by what we saw with him across the season. Large Ramazzani and Patrick Wallermark had been with us since season 2, and despite having some amazing moments at the club, last season was their worst by far. So we decided to move both of them on, making a net profit in the process in order to free up some funds to bring in some better quality attacking talents. With Javi Company and the biggest fraud of all, Benjamin Šeško, leading our line this season, we needed some extra backup. So for £8 million, we brought in Peter Musa from Slavia Prague before biting the bullet and triggering the release fee clause of Adam Holozek. We had actually done this a couple of times in the past, but always been priced out by his wages that he wanted in the contract. But this time we decided he was worth the £60,000 per week it was going to take to bring him to the club. Armed with our new signings, we had to hit the ground running if we wanted to win the title this season, and we had a really tough opening day fixture, travelling to the San Siro to take on Inter Milan. But luckily for us, Javi Company picked right up from where he left off last season, scoring. He netted the first goal on our way to a 2-0 opening day victory. But the fun didn't stop there. We then went on a run, winning 5 of our first 6 games of the season before finally suffering our first defeat, losing 2-1 away to Atalanta, following heavy rotation because of a lack of fitness from our Champions League group stage games we have been playing. We've been drawn against Ajax, Leverkusen and Rangers, a beautiful group all things considered, and after a nervy opening 1-1 draw with Ajax, we blew Leverkusen and Rangers away, winning both games 4-1, putting us top of the group at the halfway point. To kick off the second half of the group stage, we travelled to Scotland and beat Rangers 6-2, with Adam Holozek scoring a brace to steal the show. However, Rooney Bargi didn't want to be upstaged as he scored a hat-trick in the next game in a 5-0 win over Leverkusen, but in the final group stage game, up steps the fraud as Benjamin Šeško put 4 past Ajax as we wrapped up the group stage undefeated. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on the fraud Šeško. Last season, he scored 3 goals in 15 appearances for the club. Fraudulent. This season, he hadn't really started off particularly well, not really scoring many goals. Holozek was outscoring him, Company was outscoring him, even Rooney was outscoring him. Now, I stream this Venezia Save live on Twitch if you want to watch, there's a link down in the description, but for this first stream of this season, I was doing a 12-hour subathon. It was a long stream. Now, I said if we hit a certain number of subscribers across this stream, you guys got to choose a player to sell. And despite thinking we get nowhere near it, we hit that number of subscribers. And so it came down to a vote between the fraud Šeško and the biggest stud of them all, the love of my life, Gianluca Busio. Luckily for me, the chat voted for Šeško to leave the club. We're in the final seconds, and it looks like, despite it being very, very tight for about 4.5 minutes, Šeško wins. And Šeško will be the man who gets sold. And it was the very next game after we agreed to sell Šeško and let him leave the club that he scored 4 goals for us against Ajax. I mean, I like the 4 goals, but it made me hate him more. And I can't stand the man. In the lead up to January, we were totally unstoppable. Unless you're Lazio and AC Milan, then you could stop us collecting all 3 points against you. But we were on a run of form that was so good we find ourselves top of the table at Christmas. Company was scoring for fun, Holozek was tallying up some mad goal contributions, and after a bit of a false start and serious injuries, even Rooney was playing quite well for us and scoring goals. Carnesci was keeping clean sheets and Bongiorno was a defensive rock. Because we were playing so well and everyone was gelling quite nicely, I had no intention to buy anyone over the January transfer window. But we had to sell Šeško, so we offered him out, and after a small bidding war, Inter Milan's bid was the highest, so we agreed to sell Šeško to Inter for £55 million, making a healthy £20 million profit along the way. The deal was agreed and he was about to sign for them, until we noticed that our next game was against Inter Milan, and I was not going to have that fraud score goals against me, so we delayed the deal and we played him against Inter Milan. Into 1-0 up. Not quite ideal. Not quite ideal. And with that, we are being knocked off the top of the table as things stand. I've never wanted the player to score more than Šeško right now. And we've actually made £20 million off him as well, which is pretty... He scored it! Oh, he's leaving to join Inter Milan tomorrow. In fact, not tomorrow, literally, as soon as this game finishes. As soon as this game finishes, he's moving on. What? Oh my word, imagine if he scores now. Imagine if he scores now. Cesaroni, Busio, Esposito, gives it back to Kovacevic. There's still time. There is still time. As Leonidas into Esposito. Busio. Cambiasso. Put it on the head of Šeško, please. Rooney. Šeško scored. Šeško gets the winner. Šeško gets the winner in the game against Inter Milan. Oh my word, what an ending. What an ending to Šeško's time at the club. You cannot ask for a better ending to a 12-hour stream than Šeško, the man who you guys voted to leave the club, scores the winner against Inter Milan in the 91st minute to deny them 3 points against us. Great work. And guess what we're doing right now? Guess what we are doing right this second? Transfer, ask for confirmation. He's now an Inter Milan player. Šeško is now an Inter Milan player after... Make a parting comment to him. Fantastic servant to the club. Of course, this did mean that we had to find a long-term replacement for Šeško. So for £26.5 million, we signed wonderkid Audi Mbayo from Benfica. He may have the finishing of Phil Jones, but he has the dribbling, first touch and technique of Mbappe. So we've decided to use him as a false nine to create chances for Kompany, Holozek and Rooney all to score. But whilst Mbayo got to grips with the team, it allowed Peter Musa to have more chances to play, which was great for him, and he grabbed it with both hands as he scored a hat-trick in a big 4-1 win over Parma. In the meantime, we had the Champions League knockout rounds to contend with. We won our Champions League group, which meant we were a first seed heading into the knockout rounds, and our reward for winning the group was playing against PSG. They comfortably beat us 3-1 at their place, and despite our very best efforts at home, where we threw the kitchen sink at them, they overpowered us 2-1 to knock us out. We were the only first seed from the Champions League knockout rounds not to win. So I'm so annoyed about that. But it did allow us to focus on winning the league instead. We've been top of the table since game week 3, but we've been closely followed all the way by AC Milan. We did though suffer a 3-2 shock defeat away to Spezia in February, which was closely followed by 2 home games being postponed due to a waterlogged pitch, which I think is Venice speak for the entire city is completely flooded. The loss and missing 2 games in a row allowed AC Milan to skip ahead of us in the table. Now we could go back ahead of them, but in order to do that we had to actually win the games in hand that we had, which is easier said than done. We won our first game in hand. It wasn't the game against Parma where Musa picked up a hat-trick in a 4-1 win, but before we could play the second game in hand against Empoli, we had to face off against AC Milan in a winner-takes-all ladder match to the death. Okay, maybe not quite as dramatic as that, but if we won the game, then we would go back on top of the table ahead of AC Milan with a game in hand. Holozek, who decides not to pass, eventually goes to Cambiasso, gives it back to Holozek, and so much space to put a ball into the middle. Busio turns, Rooney, shot blocked, shoots again, gets the goal, come on! And Bayo, great ball to Cambiasso, and so much space, he just stops running though, brought down outside the area. It's not a penalty, it's outside the area. I think that's outside the area, it's not going to be a penalty. Yeah, no penalty. Free kick instead. Esposito, I think we should be starting him for the next few games, probably. Having Kompany quite tired. Let's bring Rooney on as the... We'll move Rooney across to the shadow striker and bring Motika on the right-hand side. Let's just see if that makes any difference. I'd like to keep Mbayo as the false nine. Doing quite well. Let's keep him establishing his role. As Mbayo gives it back to Holozek. Couldn't really do much with it there, I suppose. Back to Mbayo. Mbayo turns into Busio. And Rooney with, you know,
10 seconds over the time limit of the game, gets the ball out wide, all the way across to Holozek, who picks it up, puts it back in the middle. Busio turns his man, back to Holozek. Referee's not blown his whistle at this stage, apparently. Esposito, edge of the area, out to Cambiasso. Can we get a third? I'd love a third here. Really put them to the cosh. Oh, you love to see it. A third goal.
Having dispatched of that Milan side, we then had a chance to extend our lead at the top of the table by beating Empoli. We were 3-2 up with 15 minutes to go, but really strangely and uncharacteristically, Buongiorno, who had been fantastic all season, got himself sent off. And of course, you know exactly where this is going. Empoli scored a last-minute equaliser to ensure we couldn't pick up all 3 points. But crucially, we were still top of the table. We just needed a really good April to see us through. Unfortunately, April wasn't good for us as we struggled to score and we struggled to win. The only saving grace was that AC Milan lost every single game in March, so the race, well, it was still on. Heading into May, we simply just needed to win every single game to know for sure that we would win the title, and hope that Milan slipped up somewhere along the way to make it a little bit easier for us. We started off with a 4-0 win against local rivals Hellas Verona as AC Milan won their game against their local rivals Inter Milan. We then picked up another 4-0 win against Roma, but AC Milan were held to a 0-0 draw at Parma. And so if we avoided defeat in the penultimate game of the season away to Benevento, we would lift the trophy and celebrate winning Serie A in Dejak's live club.
Club in Benevento. Where should we go, chat, when we win it? Apparently, the Jack Life Club is the place to go. Look at these pictures. What a place. Get some good food, good music. Look at these guys. They're ready to sing champions for us. 5 points clear with 2 games to go. Oh, and we've got a better head-to-head record than AC Milan. We just have to win this upcoming game. We just have to win or draw against Benevento. Just as long as we don't lose, we win the title. Badge is also someone playing Quidditch. It does look actually like, doesn't it? It's like a witch and a broom, isn't it? But literally like Quidditch, right? Come on, Busio. That's our boy. And a header through to Mbayo, who can't score. According to Social Blade. Oh, well, hang on, we scored! So how'd it go in? Oh, God, that's poor defending from Benevento, but we've got it. We've got it. 30 minutes to go. 30 minutes, Benevento have scored. It's okay, it's okay, it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's okay. It's all okay. They can score goals if they want to. They can score another one if they want to. Because we can draw this game and still win the title. 25 to go, though. As Busio helps us restore our 2-goal leads. Busio's corner. And you've got to think that's it. You've got to think that's it. Come on. Come on. Where's the title celebration? Why are we not lifting the trophy? Have we done it? Have we done it? Can we get a proper confirmation? We've not got like 5 more games. No, it's there! We've won it! The title is ours! Come on!
So after a brief scare of not seeing us lift the trophy, we'd done it. Serie A title winners in Season 5. The 5th different Serie A winner in 5 seasons. But despite this title win, we're not done there just yet with Venezia. There is plenty more still to come.